Hey everybody, it's Devin and Erin. Erin's really in charge. I'm so excited about curriculum. I love
Yeah,
talking curriculum. It's like one of
I,
my favorite things.
it's so funny because curriculum is both the most scary choice you make every year, and everybody starts planning at the end of the year before because they're so excited to start the new
I
stuff.
know.
But you're terrified about making the wrong
Yeah,
decision and doing it right. So it's a very strange
it's
thing.
very strange. And it's like most homeschool moms become curriculum junkies in the beginning. Did you do that?
Yes, I did, and I still I'm
You're still a
10,
little bit of
11 years in. Well, it's not the junky part. It's almost a hoarding thing where I'm like, I might need this later. So I have like a chest. It was a wooden toy box, and I don't need toy
yeah.
boxes anymore. It's almost kind of it's like a curriculum hope chest in my bedroom where I have um just curriculum that I'm like, oh, I might use this. Oh, I don't want to get rid of this because I might need it. Um cool stuff I've seen over the years at different
No,
curriculum
because it's
sales
just so hard
weekends.
to get rid of it.
And you look at it and you go, oh my gosh, that looks like so much fun. But then we'll talk about this. What it all ends up coming down to is the child that is you in need of curriculum at that point. Is that a curriculum that's
That
going to
works
work
for
within their
them. It does.
interests, their type of learning, and so sometimes it could be the coolest curriculum you've ever seen.
And doesn't work
Doesn't work for
for that
that
child.
child.
Oh no, I've
Right.
done that. I bought something. I actually last year I bought something. And once when it came to translation, both of my teens, and I won't even mention what it is because people would be shocked. My teens hated it.
Yeah.
So I had a whole year of curriculum I couldn't use, and it was digital, so I can't really resell it.
Yeah, I hate when that happens. And part of it's because I'm excited to use it. Like I'm looking at it, I'm like, man, I can't wait to use this
I
and
know.
go through it
I
and
thought it was a
see it.
no-brainer. But
Right.
anyway, that takes us right to our first point because we've probably completely stressed you out at this point, and we don't mean to. Relax, take a deep breath. You're okay. Curriculum is not going to kill you.
Well, especially if you're new. So
It's
especially for new
okay.
homeschoolers,
Yeah,
it's
don't listen
such
to us
a
for that. No.
it feels like a make or break decision. Like, oh my gosh, if I don't pick the right one right now, um, it's going to screw them up for life. They're going to fail in academia. I don't know why I'm trying to say four different words at one
It
time.
won't.
They're going to fail academically. Um, if I don't pick the right thing, the right time, the first time. And you know, you can absolutely relax because I've changed things mid-year. I know
Multiple
you've
times.
changed many things mid-year.
Multiple times. We have done so many things. And this year, my girls were online. My older girls were completely online, and we've never done that before. And it ended up being great. Will we stay that way? I don't know.
And we were talking about earlier what works for one kid. It's even what works for one kid year to year. Your fifth
Yeah.
grade experience is going to look very different from your first grade experience.
Yes.
It's what kids, how they learn at that point, and what you use, and then what you use in high school, it's going to
Will
be
look
very
different.
different.
Yeah.
So
So anyway, so we want y'all to relax.
right, it's not, your decisions
You're
are not make
good.
or break. They're flexible. They can be
Be
changed.
flexible, roll with the punches. Now, if you're just starting out, one thing that Erin made a point this morning, a great starting point is easy peasy all in one,
Yes, easy
totally
peasy all
free.
in one. It's completely free. They have easy peasy all in one homeschool. And then if you are starting with high schoolers, they
They
do
have a
have an
high
easy
school,
peasy all in one. It's all in one high
all
school
in
down.
one high, yeah, all in one high school. They have you can actually find both on. I think you can find links if you go to this one, but they've got two, one for under high school, one for high school. But it's complete. It's a great curriculum. There's nothing wrong with it. My sister used it with her girls all the way through. So
The only thing that we usually get is it is a religious curriculum. So if you
yeah.
are secular, um, that may cause you to pause. I actually just answered a question in a Facebook group last week because
Hmm.
somebody was asking about high school, and somebody had mentioned all in one high school, and she said, oh, but you need to watch it for the history because it's religious and you may not agree with the timeline that she uses, which is a legitimate,
Yeah.
depending on which way you go, no judgment either way. But that could be a concern. But we are actually using one of the histories this year for my high schooler. He's starting ninth grade.
Yeah.
And Lee even mentions at the beginning of it, here's what we believe from a religious standpoint, but this curriculum for this year for this world history is being pulled from Georgia. It's a Georgia University.
Georgia Virtual Academy.
Yeah, something like that. And
I think
so
it's
it's
Georgia.
secular. It's
Yeah.
actually a secular
Yeah.
program.
A lot of their stuff, if you look at their courses, is like MIT. They're secular stuff. So although she's faith based, a lot of the curriculum in there will be secular.
But they've
You don't
laid
have
it
to
out
use
in such a way
everything.
to make it very easy to understand. So
Yeah.
even if you're secular, don't write it off as a good starting point.
Yeah.
You can definitely look at it day to day, and it says very clearly, there's no hidden agenda. Like she very clearly says, if you're going to be reading a Bible passage or if you're going to be reading most of the sources are firsthand sources. They're not biased one way or another. They're a firsthand source. But it's a great starting point because you don't know how your kids are going to learn, most likely starting out. When I
Yeah.
started, I pulled my girls from sixth grade, after sixth grade, and they were computer kids. They were of the generation that loved all things technology. They had their little
Mhm.
Apple Pod things. They had, the TVs and the internets and everything. And so I just thought, put them online. They're going to love it. It'll be great. It only took us about 5 months to figure out that they preferred reading books that were in their hands over
Mhm.
a Kindle. They don't like Kindle. They still don't love Kindles to read. They want to have a book in their hand. Um, and the same thing goes with like history curriculum where there's a lot of reading. They wanted to
Yeah.
use a book. They didn't like doing it that way. Some of the stuff they really liked an auditory or visual, like a Great Courses Plus or Magellan
Yeah.
TV kind of a thing. Um, and so we had to switch up our curriculum and I'm so glad. I'm telling you, one of the best pieces of advice I got, and it was at the day when y'all all met me at the table with all the curriculum. I think it was Lisa, though. I feel like it was Lisa who said, Lisa Brazelton, shout out, who said, don't spend a lot of money starting out.
Yeah.
Don't sink a ton. Don't go out and buy the $400 curriculum straight
Or
out the gate.
the $1,000 Bob Jones University or Abeka. Don't go sink that money in there first before you know how your kids like to learn. Because there's nothing wrong with those curriculums, but
No.
if that it may not work for you. So we always say start with the free and then gives you time to go and find what works. Let's talk a little bit about narrowing. Narrowing, is that a word?
Yep.
Your search. So how do you like to narrow?
Well,
What do you tell people? I know what I tell people, but what do you tell people?
no, you go first because I love what you tell people because that is a
I
perfect starting
okay.
point.
I always say ask yourself two questions. Okay, when I say narrow your search, do you want faith based or secular? Because those are two different curriculums, and if you separate that, then you're getting rid of a lot of extra that you don't have to look through. And then, do you want online or offline? And then that's going to narrow it even more. So that's my first two. And then I also like to say, look and see who's writing it. I like to suggest people to look at the homeschool curriculum that is written by homeschool moms. So that's me, but that's my
Well,
things.
some of those decisions, faith-based or secular, definitely comes down to your household and your family and what you
Yeah.
teach within your family. So that's a definitely important one.
Mhm.
Offline and online can also a lot of times come down to cost.
Yeah.
Those online curriculums, you can find a great deal of those for free.
Yeah. You
One of
can.
the reasons we are using All-in-One High School for a couple of our courses, we're using it for English and history this year is I really wanted to use the guest hollow science.
Yeah.
Guest hollow science and all of the guest hollow stuff, which is it's a great curriculum, but all of the guest hollow stuff is very book heavy.
Yeah.
There's probably 17 books I need, like
Mhm.
different books, not textbooks, but just
But
books,
real books. Yeah,
real
it's
books.
a great
Some of them are
curriculum.
great, and I still have them, and I don't ever resell them. But and so for our homeschool budget, it worked out to do these free options with the book options. So
Yeah.
yeah, so that's no online, offline, that's
Faith-based,
definitely
secular, and then it kind of narrows your search. So I always tell people the reason I do that is because when I was a young kid, menus would like completely freak me out. And my mom taught me to narrow. And I mean, that's what you're doing. You don't have to look at what you don't like at that menu of curriculum. Just narrow it down so you know what to look for. So let's go over where do you look for curriculum? Where can you find it when everything's new? I don't know that I would say Google it right away because then you're going to get a ton of stuff with no narrow.
Well, and the thing is too, when you Google, I actually learned this again, and I did know this, but it was reminded yesterday. I went to search something about Alabama homeschoolers, and the first link that came up was the Connections Academy, which is actually a public school at home program.
Yeah.
So Googling doesn't even necessarily guarantee you to
That you'll
get
get the right
you
information.
the right information. So yeah, I definitely don't. Another homeschool mentor of mine, Christy Lanford, highly recommends the Kathy Duffy.
Her curriculum reviews. Yeah, I got some stuff here. Kathy Duffy has curriculum reviews. You can go through that. I love her, but I don't know that I would start with her. I would probably go to the Facebook group. In our group, you can ask, say, "Hey, I'm looking for secular online history."
And
Or
that's important to be as specific as
as specific as
possible.
you want. Yeah.
We have some people who come in and just go, I'm looking for history for my homeschooler. For your second grade homeschooler, for your 12th grade
Yeah.
homeschooler, for your eighth
What
grade
grade?
homeschooler.
Yeah. What grade
Are
and
you
level helps too. So be very
right?
specific. But then it will give you a whole list of things to look at. And then you can go to Kathy Duffy and see what she says about it because she's got awesome taste. I mean, really, she's fabulous.
And
And then
she's
you
neat.
can
If you
go,
go, she's got a book. I know Christy usually recommends the book, so there is a book. But I've been to
yeah,
her website, and her website, if I remember correctly, still has a thing where you can kind of. It's neat. It has like a chart where it shows
yeah,
with
you can kind of go through
text
there.
of
Yeah.
what if it's secular, if it's not secular, if it's online, if it's not online, the price point it is,
Yeah, she even
um,
has links to stuff. So it's like you can go on Amazon or Christian book distributors. I think it gives you several options to buy.
and she has secular and religious
Yes,
curriculum on her site. She
yes.
does. Um, so that's a great thing. We also have our resale page. We have
Yeah.
a
When you're I mean, you can talk to homeschool mom, but you can also go when you're getting ready to buy eBay, buy it used. Don't buy
all the
it
books that I'm buying from Guest Hollow, I'm buying from Abe Books, which is
A
like
book
an
is another
online
one.
thrift store, bookstore.
Yeah.
Um,
Facebook Marketplace, our resale page, there may be somebody who's selling it. So I'm
yeah.
like, so you can keep it really, yes, that goes to cost. Let's see, cost can be anywhere from free to lots of money because I think the high threshold for me, I think probably Abeka and Bob Jones and Liberty University are
And
top.
those are so much switched on Schoolhouse.
Yeah,
Those kind of curriculums are so much because it is everything in one shot.
yeah,
Bob
it'll have
Jones,
everything
they're going to have everything you need probably for all of the subjects for all of the year.
with DVDs to watch.
Yeah, so your testing, it just
Yeah,
everything. And that's very
it's
appealing
more
for
like
some
school
people.
at home, is what it is.
Yeah, and that's very appealing for some people. Some people want everything all in one place. I'm definitely more of we're going to use this history, we're going to use this science, we use a
Yeah,
third math. We're all over the
well,
place.
that's how I am. I started out that way. When I started, I found a book at the library called The Well Trained Mind, and each grade had several suggestions for math and for every subject. So that's where, I mean, that was before there was Facebook groups and Kathy Duffy, and I didn't know any homeschool moms. So it's like that's where I started. So I'm used to picking and choosing all around. So it's kind of weird this year that the girls are completely on one place.
We were talking a little bit about where you can get it, where to look, and we kind of jumped into where to buy. It kind of all kind of lumped in together.
It kind of went together.
Yeah, so I'm just going to pull that out for just a minute on where to buy the curriculum.
Yes.
You can, their individual websites. I know, like Pandia Press, which we've used for science, they have their own website. Abeka has their own website. Bob Jones has their own website.
Yeah.
Guest Hollow has their own website.
So Guest Hollow, because people will ask, Guest Hollow, they sell their guides.
Yes.
And then you buy all the books to go with it. So.
Yeah. And so, like with Guest Hollow, you have to go to their website because they're you have to go to their website to get the guide.
It's a homeschool mom that wrote curriculum for her, her children.
So it's perfect. So it's made just for us by us. It's for us by us, right? And so the that's great, but you do have to go to her site, but you don't have to buy the books that you need from her site. Yeah. You can go to Amazon. You can go to, she even says, go to the library. She gives you a neat list so you can do checkoffs. But you can, but like Pandia Press's stuff, you can buy it on Pandia Press, you can buy it on Amazon, and you can buy it on Christian Books. ChristianBooks.com is one of the websites. Cool. They do great sales, and ChristianBooks.com is kind of a misnomer. They do have a lot of religious materials and pretty calendars and crosses and things like that. But Pandia Press, for example, is a secular science. It is it's not a religious science at all, but ChristianBooks.com does sell it. So don't think that just because
it's in the name that they won't have what you need.
That they won't have what you need. Maybe at a really good deal.
And another thing, because she said something in passing, and I just, my brain grabbed it. The library. I have requested like reading books or not textbooks so much, but I have requested like books that went along with our curriculum, and they have almost never told. I think I've only been told no twice in 10 years. So you may want to try to request it and see if they'll bring it in. Now the misnomer is you have to continually check it out until you're finished with it, but it can lower your cost for curriculum. And I have done that many times. And I'm like, really, I'm telling y'all, they've only told me no like 2 times. And that was only because one wasn't a library print and one was out of print. So they like never, hardly ever say no. They're really good about working.
You can get them from different libraries. So like, if you're not super familiar with the library system and using library, I know most homeschoolers become very familiar with the library. But if you're in Theodore or you're in West Mobile and the book you need is in Saraland or
they'll send it to you.
They can send it to the library that's closest to you so that you don't have to go, miles and miles away, especially with gas prices the way they are right now.
Oh my gosh.
Bring it to you so you don't have to go to it. So that's it.
That saves me as a mom so much time because I can order everything I want in, then like once a week go drop off, pick up the new stuff, and it just helps. But they are fabulous. They're well worth it.
And so I think to wrap up, we just want to do the how to use the curriculum because I think that's the final thing that we get. I know I get a lot of people, okay, but now I've got this curriculum. Now what? What do I do now? I've used primarily homeschool specific curriculum. And that's going to scare people. They're going to be like, how do we know it's homeschool specific? Most of it that you're ordering is, unless you're going and just purchasing a college textbook or you go and purchase an elementary school textbook because that's what your kids use.
Or you went to Goodwill and found one on the shelf. And there's nothing wrong with that.
No, but it's not going to come with the guides. So, but 98% of what you buy is going to come with a guide. It's going to tell you, several of them that I've used have come with a guide that has shown you how to use the curriculum if you want to do 5 days worth of school 3 days worth of school,
Yeah.
4 days worth of school week. It shows you the different options,
Mm-hmm.
because they know homeschoolers sometimes have a co-op day and they
Yeah.
can't do school that day. So, or homes, they can't do the school at home that day. So they know how to help you do that. They're going to say, okay, you're going to do lessons 1, 2, 3, 4, and then on 5, here's the test you're going to use. Here's the
Yeah.
here's the test. And then the big thing is there's teachers guides. So once you get to a certain age, now I didn't buy teachers guides, I think until 3rd grade. And that was more just because not for the answers, but for the guide to help me,
To break it down.
help break some things down and help in the explaining process. Because that's another thing. A lot of these guides, the teachers guides, come with here's the questions to ask your child to go with this. And I found I needed that. I needed some help
Uh-huh.
coming up with the words for the questions to facilitate, especially language arts, with the
Yeah.
reading we were doing and stuff like that. But they come with the answers. They come with the answers to the questions, so you don't have to know the answers to the questions. Once you get a little past 3rd grade, sometimes that's a good thing.
It can be.
Um, and and you can definitely they have them for the younger grades too. Make no mistake, they have them for 1st and 2nd grade. I
Yeah.
just didn't necessarily get them for those grades. But yeah, so once you get up into middle and high school, I know math is a big scary one. Oh my gosh, I could never teach math. We used to have used teaching textbooks and CTC math. Both of those online. Both of those somebody teaches them online, something grades it online, shoots it over to a grade book. I never have to do any of it.
That's good.
So the within the curriculum and the how to use it, it's going to be there for you. They're
Yeah.
not just throwing you in the deep end and like, look, they lay it out for you.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Really, I love we have such a wealth. When I started, okay, I've homeschooled, like 18 years. When I started, there was a lot less curriculum, but now we have so much by homeschool mothers that I just think it's fabulous. And it's written to make it work for us and with our lifestyles because we are a lifestyle and
Yeah.
I just love them. We're
Well,
totally a
it just
lifestyle.
sort of brings you back full circle. It's that double edge. It's
Yeah.
that it's both ways. You're very excited that there's so many options, but
But
oh
it's
my gosh, there's so
overwhelming to
many
look at the
options.
options.
Exactly. Which
Oh
brings me
my
right back to where we started with we're very scared to pick out the homeschool, but we're very excited to pick out the curriculum. So,
Yeah, it's so much fun. It really, I promise, planning your new year is fun and it will become very fun. I promise. Do you take a lesson planning week? I usually take like a whole week where the kids go off and do things with
oh,
Nick.
see, that's lovely. I
I
know.
love
I
that.
don't. I am.
That was my favorite. I was lucky to have a guy who did that.
I am a. I am the great procrastinator. I'm going to be the night before pulling all of the crap
Now I'm
together.
procrastinating about doing grades with high school. I'm very
Oh
last
yeah.
minute with that, but
Oh, that's a whole nother thing we need to do because let me just tell you, you have got to keep track of that the whole time because you will get to senior year and not
you will
remember a single
forget.
thing.
I promise. You need to keep a nice big thick stack somewhere and don't let anything happen to it.
Yeah, definitely write down your curriculum that you're using. This
And
this
the
does play
things
into
you
curriculum.
do.
If you have a high schooler, get you a Google Doc. If you have a Gmail account, get you a Google Doc. They're free. They cost nothing. It stays in the cloud. You don't have to keep
Hmm.
up with it. You can find it whenever you need it. And just label it curriculum, title it curriculum, and put 9th grade right down there. What
Yeah.
curriculum?
Or keep
What?
screenshots of the publishing page and the
Yep.
front page. Keep an idea. I use a record keeper
You
that I have a
you will
place to
forget.
put what I use.
Because you will forget.
You
Because
will.
I needed to make transcripts 11th grade. So and it was just 9th and 10th grade. It was just 2 years for them to start early enrollment at the University of Mobile. And you should see me scrolling Facebook, trying to remember like what electives we did, what volunteer hours they had, what.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're getting off topic.
Yeah,
That's another
it's
talk for
almost
another day.
off topic, but since we were talking about that, if you are planning to go back into the public school system, keep your records very well because I know 3rd grade they're going to ask for lesson plans, and I know we do not have to legally keep them as homeschoolers, but when you go back under their system,
Yeah.
you are
Go
going
back
back
under their
under their
system.
rules, and
Yep.
it will. You have to have it. Just I'm just I tell all my mamas now that I work with that just try to keep really good records so that you have that if you're planning to go back.
Yeah.
If you're not, no worries, but keep your good records in high school. But records are never bad. Records are never a bad thing. So
Yeah. Yeah.
anyway,
But yeah, so that was, I think we covered everything.
yeah, that was so much fun.
Yeah, yeah, curriculum, again, one of our favorite topics. We
It's
do
one
love
of
that.
my favorite.
We could have made this last way longer.
We could have been way longer if we did not make notes and try to stick to them because
I think we did good. I think we did good.
we did good. Curriculum is so much fun. Y'all have a great day, and we'll talk to y'all soon.
We'll see y'all at the next thing.
Bye.